ASEAN Dailies. First and the foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Hello, welcome to Duran ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing.
So Valentine's Day is around the corner, and I'm sure many of lovebirds out there are planning for their intimate romantic time together. So Arlene, what would you suggest?
Well, I don't want to be biased here, Grace. It's really up to the couple. They can either go for a weekend getaway or a night out on a fancy dinner of wine and steak, or perhaps a lazy Sunday date at home watching Netflix. That would probably be me.
Netflix, that sounds like a great idea. Right, thank you.
Anyway, on our ASEAN Daily today, we will bring you daily updates and commentaries on issues and events that are impacting this region. I'm your host, Arlene.
And my name is Grace Cho. And on this romantic Friday, 12th of February 2016, we will bring you the latest news on politics and current affairs news from Southeast Asia.
Our top story today, US President Obama and leaders from the 10 ASEAN nations will be spending their time next week at Sunnylands, California for the US-ASEAN Summit.
That's correct. We all know that Obama spent his childhood in Indonesia. It came as no surprise that he made strengthening ties with ASEAN countries as a priority. In year 2009, he became the first U.S. president to meet with all 10 ASEAN leaders.
Wow.
Yeah, and in fact, the US-ASEAN Summit will be the first time that the president of the most powerful country on earth ever hosted a high-level Southeast Asian meeting in the U.S.
So what will they be doing? They will be deliberating critical issues of mutual interest. Among the agenda are obviously trade. The TPPA has been high on the U.S. agenda in Asia. And obviously the next one will be counter-terrorism, especially with the deadly bomb attacks in Jakarta recently. And the third one, the maritime security issues, where US see itself to be the rebalancing act towards an imminent China on the South China Sea dispute.
Of course, from there, we can also look at the rough schedule of the ASEAN leaders' visit to the U.S. So Monday afternoon, the president will greet ASEAN leaders as they arrive at Sunnylands before delving into session on the economy, and followed by the working dinner at Sunnylands. And while on Tuesday morning session, they will be discussing on security issues, like you mentioned about counterterrorism and other political security issues that we have. And later Tuesday, Obama will hold a news conference.
Wow, it's quite full, huh?
Yeah, it is quite tight. Yeah, it is. So it is quite a very jam-packed visit there.
And of course, when people ask, why use Sunnyland as the venue for high-level meeting? Well, the thing is, in recent years, it's not just for ASEAN leaders. In fact, the president has used Sunnylands to meet separately with Chinese President Xi Jinping and also Jordan's King Abdullah II.
Well, and also according to Ben Rhodes, Deputy National Security Advisor for Strategic Communication at the National Security Council, the president has really come to enjoy Sunnylands as a good venue to have these open discussions with leaders because it's more relaxed and informal setting. Oh my God, Arlene, I can so imagine the sun and beautiful scenery of Sunnylands.
Oh, definitely. We really need a vacation.
Let's go.
Anyway, the next news is rather critical of the US-ASEAN Summit. Human Rights Watch has slammed that the United States President Barack Obama should make human rights as a central and public focus of the upcoming summit.
That's correct. According to John Sifton, who is an Asian advocacy director at Human Rights Watch, he said President Obama knows that human rights are under assault in Southeast Asia, of course. But the question here is whether he's going to say or do something about it.
He also added that the risk is that Sunnylands Summit will empower and embolden ASEAN leaders who have been responsible for jailing journalists, cracking down on peaceful protesters, dismantling democratic institutions after coups.
Yeah, and also in addition to that, among all those human rights atrocities that ASEAN leaders have committed are jailing of political prisoners in Vietnam, politically motivated prosecutions in Malaysia, political repression in Cambodia, and the crackdown on the free expression in Thailand.
Oh, wow. So, Besides that, what they are doing also, they had written a letter to Obama where they outlined several key human rights issues in ASEAN and urged the government of the US to facilitate civil society participation in the February summit.
That's correct. And we agree with Human Rights Watch. And I think it's time for the US to use its power for the betterment of the world for sure, especially on its pivot to Asia, where human rights and democracy are all to be raised to the same level as other US priorities in this region.
And there's also another human rights news. On the US-ASEAN Summit, civil society groups are calling for Laos Dong Sahong hydropower dam to be discussed during the summit. And Laos already is constructing the Xayaburi Dam. I think you remember last time we did interview an activist from Cambodia on this. It is situated along the main body of Mekong River, where it has proposed another, guess what, 10 more dams.
Oh, that's a lot more dams that we're talking about there. Well, despite opposition from the downstream countries, Laos has pushed ahead with the hydropower projects even. And also environmental campaigners in Cambodia said the platform will create opportunity for ASEAN to appeal for American assistance or mediation on the awkward issue of hydropower on the Mekong River. So these dam constructions should at least be suspended while lower Mekong countries discuss these issues particularly.
I couldn't agree more. In fact, the reason why the dam is such a huge problem because it will create massive environmental hazards. According to Chit Samat, country director for the World Wildlife Fund in Cambodia, he explained Cambodia has Irrawaddy dolphins in the Mekong, which may swim back and forth between Cambodia and Laos.
Oh, wow. There was a worry that this Dong Sahong Dam will affect their efforts to protect dolphins, as well as about fish migration, water quality, and even the livelihoods of the millions of people for sure.
Who doesn't love a dolphin, right?
Yeah, they're so adorable.
Anyway, talking about human rights again, the next news may not come as a surprise. Myanmar's outgoing President Thein Sein has decided to last minute cancel his visit to the US-ASEAN Summit.
Huh? Do you know why he did it?
Well, nobody knows, cause the delegates from the Myanmar side is keeping mum.
Oh no. Well, this was the only response, right? President Thein Sein is not visiting the US because he has other business to attend to. And that's all we can say. And according to Zo Tae, a senior official at the president office, contracted by phone only.
Well, according to experts who are aware of the politics in Myanmar, they said that he is expected for the trip to be Thein Sein's last chance to highlight his reformist legacy in front of the President Barack Obama and Southeast Asian leaders.
Well, his decision will likely intensify this already frantic speculation over the state of the behind-the-scene negotiations in Myanmar's capital, Naypyidaw. Oh, what is that?
Naypyidaw. Don't worry, it's quite hard to pronounce, I understand.
Right. So, anyways, the parliament decided on Monday to begin its election process for the new president on March 17th, and that pushed back the National Leagues of Democracy original plans by about 3 weeks. But could this mean that these talks between the party and the military have hit the snag already?
Well, perhaps. We never know. Anyway, enough about the summit. Let's go to Malaysia as usual for a 1MDB current scoop.
That's our country.
The recent news was reported that media personnel have been barred from entering Parliament, where the Public Accounts Committee, or short for PAC, is holding its final round of proceedings on the 1MDB.
So these proceedings will see the committee hearing testimony from former 1MDB president and also Chief Executive Officer Datuk Sharul Hamdi and also former Chairman Tan Sri Muhammad Baqi Saleh on Thursday and today.
Oh, it's today. Interesting. As we all know, the PAC probe into the 1MDB has been ongoing since May 2015, which was last year. According to PAC Chairman Dato' Hassan Arifin, the committee would have gathered sufficient information from previous hearings to make an objective, transparent and fair conclusion.
Well, but this scandal is a hot potato issue for sure, not just in Malaysia, but all making its round in Singapore, US, Switzerland, and so on. And of course, the Auditor General is also scheduled to present the final report on 1MDB on this month, February 24th and 25th.
Let's see how it goes.
Yes, for sure.
That's all from our ASEAN Daily today. Thanks for tuning in to Durian ASEAN with Arlene Tan
and Grace Joe. For more updates on Southeast Asia, please tune into our website at durianasean.com. But if you're on the go, you can always download our TuneIn app on your mobile.
Please subscribe our YouTube channels at Durian ASEAN and Durian ASEAN TV. Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page, Twitter and Instagram. We always welcome feedback from our listeners.
So stay tuned with ASEAN Daily by next week Monday, same time at 12 to 1 p.m. on GMT plus 8. Durian ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing.
You're now listening to Durian ASEAN, the voice of discovery and sharing.